Rosie Wizards, and welcome back to the pursuit of happiness with me, Pigtail Girl, your friend and fellow traveller. I hope you're all well, my darlings. I've been having the world's worst men's cycle in living history. Some of you who follow me on social media will know I wrote a bit of a funny story about the first werewolf being a woman who had the world's worst period. It's because I've been going through this terrible period and I came up in all this acne, like all over my face. It's getting a little better now. I haven't had that in like forever, and it's just so strange. It's really strange times. I think it's just, yeah, it's maybe my age, I don't know, 46. Hormones start going a bit funny, but it's also stress, basically stress as well in the body, and just so much going on with the full moon and the core matrix, and you know, I've been having this sort of constant download streaming of my life going in and out of my brain that I've become aware of too, going on. So I've sort of been having to take some time for myself to just like work out what's going on. I feel like there's parts of me that are integrating at the moment. And, you know, the other day I was sharing a bit about my past, about when I was young, how I used to get bullied. And some people have asked me, oh, why didn't you tell us that story before? Or why didn't you talk about this before? Weren't you ready to talk about it? But that's not really the case for me. It's just that it's, you know, that part of my life that I had before I became a wizard or an empowered person, when I was the victim of all of this behaviour, you know, I've sort of integrated it recently and seen it as my learning initiation to become that wizard. You know, it's like an initiation path. And so, you know, I used to feel very wounded about it. I used to feel like I was a victim. And, you know, I've spoken to you about what I feel about the victim-aggressor cycle, about how you need to step out of that and put yourself in the healer in the middle. And when you do that, you can then get rid of those energetics, which, you know, are distortions for you and keep you from your full power. So, you know, my entire life I've been, you know, healing those things from the past to the point where it's like they're not really any longer a part of who I am. So I don't really even think about them anymore, because I've left all of the active memory build up from my past episodes of whatever went on to me in my childhood, you know, far behind me. And the only reason I've been thinking about it again lately, because I really don't think about it, because it's all gone, it's all healed, it's done. It's like when you've done it, you don't have to keep re-looping it in your brain and attaching a trigger to it. It's just, it's not a part of your energy system anymore. It's like you shedding your skin, you're just letting it all go. But recently, because I think the core matrix has been making all these timeline adjustments, and I'm so connected to the core matrix with the work I do with Starfire, as many of you who are in our group will also be experiencing, I know yourselves, because the more you connect to the core matrix, the more you open up to it, and it is like that. Yeah, those streamings of data, the true downloads are just coming from the core matrix. So I felt like I've been remembering things from my childhood with not a victim viewpoint anymore, of when I've been observing it and going, oh God, look at that, poor me, seeing myself as that poor victim of all that terrible stuff, you know, the stuff that makes you angry at the aggressor, but just looking at it and being shown how, oh yeah, look, that was me, learning all that stuff that has been so useful for me for where I am today, to help me understand what was going on. And all this data that's been streaming in my brain and making me start remembering, you know, all these episodes in my life that made me who I am, it's just been showing me how every part of my life was an education, so I'd know exactly what was going on now, including my time spent in China when I was living over there, and I was DJing over there, and I was experiencing what it was like to live over there. It was due to that education that I so randomly ended up having for myself, that then I could come finally to this point in history and have all of the information I would need to know what was going on, who was telling the truth, and what was what, basically. So it's been a very liberating experience. I wasn't looking back at my past feeling like a victim at all. I was actually very empowered, you see. It just made me feel so like, wow, that was so orchestrated just to get me to my own power. How amazing was that? And even those people that were doing those things to me, thank you, because you were playing that role. I now see how you were guided to play that role. Otherwise, I wouldn't have got my education. So those roles were very important for me. So that's where forgiveness comes in, right? Forgiveness, you can start to laugh and smile about those things and let them go. But of course, at the time when they're happening to you, you don't feel like that at all, especially not when you're young and you don't have any wisdom or any spiritual clarity, you know, or emotional maturity to be able to process that even. But this is the process of becoming that wizard. It doesn't matter the path you tread. You know, the most powerful wizards are the ones that have experienced the most learning and initiation in their lifetime. So your struggle, it's your initiation. Whatever form your struggle is taking, as soon as you can take yourself out of the victim-aggressor mode and put yourself in the healer, then the healer transforms and becomes the magician, or the wizard, as I like to call it here. And this really is a journey as well that's explained through the tarot cards, which is why I like to connect to the tarot cards. And another really big thing that's been done to humanity via the spreading of religions and dogma is this lack of connection we have to very healthy occult tools. They're only occult because they've been removed from us, so we don't have the ability to use them. So we forget about the power that we truly have as co-creators, and you know, we don't need to go to an outside force to get our answers, because we can, when we know how to divine and go inward and heal, we can get all those answers within ourselves. Because the temple, this is the temple right here. And originally, when I set up this channel, I mean, I wasn't really sure exactly where I was going with it or what I was doing. But one thing I did know that what I wanted to achieve was to give people their own power, a glimpse of their own power, the power of nature, the power of self-care, that the wizardry within yourself and within the elements and within all that's sacred and divine around you, you know, just and to understand your ability to co-create within that. You're not a victim of anything, or well, you'll be a victim as long as you see yourself that way, because truly you have the most amazing tools, artistic tools, imagination, creation, movement, song, melody, frequency. You have your voice, you have your hands that can do amazing things. You are a magician, you are a master, skilled master waiting to occur and return into your own power. And when you feel empowered, you don't feel afraid or helpless anymore about things, because you know that, you know, the other magicians, on the other hand, the other path, the other side, you know, they're just using all these tools that you could be using too, but that doesn't make those tools evil, because evil can be done with them. They're neutral tools. They're just co-creative tools. They're tools anyone can use. The tell you lies vision, you know, putting images and ideas into people's minds, you can do that to yourself. You can do that to other people. You can put your own ideas into your mind. And this is so powerful, because this is your creation unit right here. This is your creation unit. So you're in charge of actually your own creation unit, and you will remain in charge of it as long as you acknowledge that, you know, you have that sovereignty, you have that right, and you don't consent to give it up. And you're all proclaiming it, because we're all magicians, and the will and the strength of will is what makes the magician different to the fool, right? The fool is the zero, the magician is the one, because the magician is the one who's they still have a little bit of that playfulness, because to be a good magician you have to have that slight childish playfulness. Being a good magician, how I put it the other day to my husband to make him understand what I've been understanding about magic and creation, joyful co-creation I should call it, is it's like being in an improvisational band or a jam session or something. It's when you're in a good jam session, which I've been in many, it's very fluid and it's flowing and everyone's very just free and no one's judging each other. We don't care if someone makes a mistake or a drum beat goes off or a slightly off key word is spoken. You don't care. In the moment, everyone is just flowing and it has this own energy of itself, and people come into the space and out of the space again, and it's moving and it's happening and it's all coming spontaneously out from the creative flow of the magicians, the musicians. It's very closely related. So when you're doing a good magic, there has to be this freedom that often is often subscribed to, like a feeling of being a child, an uninhibited child who's not judging itself all the time and isn't afraid to make mistakes, basically. And you know, like if you ask a confident 5-year-old to sing you their song that they learnt at school, they're gonna happily and proudly sing it loud and clear to you and just really not care. It's that kind of childish joy and confidence in one's power and that sense of will sovereignty, right? The children get that very quickly of, I am me and I am myself and you can't tell me what to do. That sense of self, this is me, I'm in charge of me. And this is very much the energy of the wizard. It's this understanding that you do have this ability to command things into being, to command things be done, ask and it shall be done, ask and it shall be done, but it's more like speaking it into being, bringing it into being. And it's all coming from that strength of your will and determination. Because that's what it really all comes down to. The tools are all the same. Anyone can use the tools that are there. Make your own TV show, make your own images, tell people a story, get them to believe it, all those things. But it's even better when you're just in your home and you are just empowering yourself and you are just spreading that word of empowerment to others. We don't have to all agree on the story, but we can all agree on the fact that we're all conscious co-creators and that our thoughts, our will, our ideas all have power in the moment, and we all have the power to change things. There's no one who can't change things on this planet. There's no one who has less of an ability to change things when they're standing in their own true power. The only thing that's diminishing your power is all those things we talked about, being in the victim aggressor mentality, the us versus them, the unforgiveness state, the state of conflict, the state of fear, hopelessness, helplessness, all these things. This is when you're in your diminished state. Believing what the dark magicians might be showing you as to be the only future. The future's not there yet, so, what do they know? That's just they're projecting their image, trying to get you to tune into it and attach to their frequency. Like, that's the trick. That's the only power they have. So don't do it. So get yourself out of all the things I've mentioned. That's really been a huge message on my channel for years now, actually. And really step in your power and know that even just painting a picture could be changing things right now with some intention and really putting your energy and creative flow into that picture and just letting that picture come out and tuning in to the cosmic flow of the universe, which is always trying to promote life really at the end of the day. So you want to tune into that pro-life energy, that productive co-creative energy, try to tune out as much as you can from the other one that's trying to suck you down into it, and know that your energetic and your will and your power is enough to change things. So it is enough. You are enough. You have what you need to change things inside yourself when you are in your power. And find the way to get yourself into your power, so you believe it. No, it's easy to hear words and say it, but then after you turn the video off and Pigtail Girl's not there anymore telling you, are you believing it? Are you acting on it? Right? Are you living that as a reality? Right? Because the other day I was having a meditation and talking to blah 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 family ancestors, whoever it is I connect to. They're all beings that have sort of been with me for a long time anyway. So I'm connecting to my crew, shall we say, and I really wanted to know what my true hidden face was, my true hidden power. Why was I sent in on this mission, this lifetime? What is it that I carry that's my true power? Maybe something I don't know about that I could be revealed to me. So I shuffle the cards, and I pick a card, and it's the Magician card. So I laugh. Okay, the wizard. Yeah, of course, it's the magician. I'm here. I know how to manifest, and I'm here to show other people how to manifest, because it's not that difficult when you know how. You really can manifest. I've seen it throughout my life for years. That is totally possible. But again, you have to know how to do it and the ways to do it. Certain things don't work. Certain things do work. And so anyway, so I thought, okay, all right, the magician. All right then. So anyway, I said, is there anything else that goes with this card to make me understand it any deeper? And I put the card back in. I shuffled. Now, you know a card's packed like that. But what's funny with my tarot is I do this very often. I'll shuffle, and I'll take the top card again. And what is it? It's the magician. It's the magician card again. So I was just laughing like, okay, double wizard. Right, I've got the message, wizardry. You know, and that just made me realise that that's mainly what I've been talking about on this channel. And it seems to be my mission in life. So if anyone tries to tell you that it's wrong or sinful or bad to stand into your wizardry power and work with the sacred, work with the divine to cosmically co-create, you know, Why is it that people like me are sent here and sent on initiations to activate us into these things, you know, with so much energy is put into the paths that we're taking to get us to those points. And I think I'm living a pretty good life. I've never consciously hurt someone. I've never gone out of my way to physically hurt anyone or mentally hurt anyone or emotionally hurt anyone. Like, I can look back at my life and honestly say I have not tried to hurt another human being probably since I was, you know, a teenager, you know. So, like, if I'm so bad and evil, why is it, you know, I don't think that I'm bad and evil, so why would my path be bad and evil? Therefore, standing in your power and doing wizardry and manifestation is not a sin. It's not going against God. It's not going against anything. Anyone telling you that is just it's BS. It's obviously BS. It's someone who doesn't want you to stand in your power. Well, who might not want you to stand in your own power and use some of the tools they're using? Who might not want you to do that? Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, just saying. All I can say is when I stand in my own power and I use my wizard skills and I'm not afraid of it and I don't see it as something sinful or wrong for me, amazing, miraculous things happen. And I am just one woman by herself, and I have seen huge shifts and things occurring. So my point being is, one of the main things that stops people embracing the truth of their power is fear of it. It's fear, and it comes from dogmatic brainwashing from childhood that makes you fear those kind of things from the Abrahamic religions. They tell you it's witchcraft or it's the occult. You mustn't look at astrology. You mustn't look at this. You mustn't look at that. And this is what I say to people when you think, well, you have to be careful of these texts, because these texts have been kept in circulation on purpose and have been edited and re-edited many times. By who? Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. I'm looking at the shadow side over there. Who's been in charge of the printing press and the control of these entities that give us the text? Who is it telling us not that we can't know our power or use our power and obtain any liberation? That we just have to sit around and wait for the bad guys to win, and then someone else might turn up and sort it all out. You start to think, I'm not interested in just sitting around letting the bad guys win and live it up for a while. I'm more interested in the other story where we all stop that from happening, like right now, before it even gets to that point, and we don't have to wait for someone else to come and sort it out. We sort it out ourselves and get on with it and live a really nice life very soon. That's me as a wizardy co-creator. See, I'm not interested in someone else's ending to the story. I'm interested in writing mine, and as far as I'm concerned, that's what the divine has sent me here to tell people, and what I'm here to do is to tell you that we can be the authors of our own story, right? That's our story, not history. I don't know if this video has just been one long ramble or not today. When I get my period, I get a bit weird and shaky and mental. So do excuse me if I have been any of those in this video. But I wanted to connect and not hide my acne-ridden skin from you lovelies and send it out. Just infinite power to you. Infinite power. It's all there for you to tap into. Right in there. But you have to find it yourself. Right? That's the key. You have to find it. Yourself. Inside yourself. No one else can find that for you. Alright, my dears. So I will love you and leave you, and see you on the next exciting episode of The Pursuit of Happiness. One love.